If you look at what just happened between Washington and Ottawa, this isn't a negotiation. This isn't even a disagreement. This is an ultimatum meeting a wall. For decades, the economic relationship between the United States and Canada was the envy of the world. Seamless, integrated, mutually beneficial. But as of this morning, that relationship is on life support. Donald Trump just demanded $500 billion from Canada, not over 10 years, not as part of a phased agreement. Immediately, he wants it now. He wants it in concessions, in market access, in resource guarantees, and in what his team is calling balance of trade corrections. He went on Truth Social and laid it out like an invoice, like Canada owes him money, like a neighbor who suddenly decides you've been underpaying rent for 30 years and hands you a bill at breakfast. Mark Carney looked at that bill. He read every line, and then he did something that sent shockwaves through every embassy, every trading floor, and every war room in the Western world. He tore it up, not figuratively, politically, strategically, publicly. He didn't just reject the demand, he dismantled it. And the way he did it just shook Washington to its foundation. Trump is scrambling, the markets are reacting, and the so-called experts on cable news are completely missing what's actually happening here. In the next few minutes, I'm going to walk you through exactly what Trump demanded and why this single exchange may have just redrawn the economic map of North America. So let's start at the beginning, because the $500 billion number didn't come out of nowhere. It came out of frustration. President Trump has been hammering the trade deficit with Canada for months. He's been pointing to Canadian lumber, Canadian energy, Canadian metals, and saying America is getting ripped off. His team put together a document, a wish list really, that calculated every perceived imbalance, every tariff asymmetry, every market restriction that benefits Canadian producers over American ones. They added it all up, they inflated the timeline, they padded the numbers, and they arrived at $500 billion. That is the figure the White House says Canada owes for decades of unfair trade practices. Now, any economist will tell you that number is fantasy. Trade deficits don't work like credit card debt. You don't get to just send a bill. But Trump doesn't care about economic theory. He cares about the headline. And the headline was exactly what he wanted. Trump demands $500 billion from Canada. It played beautifully on Fox. It lit up his base. It made him look like the tough guy finally holding the freeloaders accountable. There was just one problem. He sent that demand to the wrong guy. Mark Carney is not Justin Trudeau. He's not going to smile and nod and promise to work things out over a round of golf. Carney looked at that $500 billion demand, and he didn't just say no. He held a press conference that will be studied in political science classes for the next 50 years. He stood at the podium in Ottawa, calm as a surgeon, and he said, "The United States is our partner, not our landlord. Canada does not pay tribute. We do not accept invoices from foreign governments, and we will not be bullied by fantasy accounting." That line, that single line, it landed like a cruise missile in Washington. Within minutes, it was trending globally. Within an hour, European leaders were sharing it. Within 2 hours, the White House press office had to hold an emergency briefing to respond, and their response, it was chaos. Trump fired back immediately, calling Carney a failed banker and a puppet of the global elite. He threatened to impose an immediate 50% tariff on all Canadian goods, not 25%, 50%. He said Canada would pay one way or another. But here's the thing. While Trump was raging on social media, the markets were already delivering their verdict.